snacks.
And we live.
Yo, what it do, snackers and snack S? It's your boy Gage. Jokes is in the building.
Yo, yo.
And Sin is in the building.
Yes, sir.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And today,
Today?
Superman is OP. We are going to discuss it.
Oh, he had to do that in the movie guy voice. He bought that in the movie guy voice.
Superman is OP in a world where Superman has every possible power. We will destroy him. All right, so listen. Look, first and foremost, gentlemen, how are we?
Pretty good.
I'm good.
Okay. Everybody's a little bit tired.
A little tired.
There's a lot happening.
A little bit.
A lot of work going on.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get some things going.
Right.
But that energy is still there. We're going to maintain motivation. We're excited. It's a special kind of Xbox week. We got San Diego Comic-Con online coming up this week. Like, there's things going on.
There are.
So let's start with the bad news. Let's talk about Tenet.
We called it.
We're probably like the third to last time. Like, I don't know. I don't know how many more times we're going to have to do this.
Like I've been saying.
No.
Throw it away.
Sin's facts said no. It ain't coming out this year. Yeah, he said it.
No, just give up on these movie releases for the year and focus on just putting them out online in a way that you can recoup some type of money and this, that, and the third. Stop trying to force us to go to the theaters. COVID said no. Y'all done.
That's actually not what it is. That's not what it is. COVID did not say no.
Okay.
Stupidity said no. We don't believe in it said no. You don't
You're
need to
right.
wear a mask said
You're
no.
right.
Let's have a COVID party said no. Let's
You're
all
right.
go to the beach said no. 4th of July said no. Oh, y'all gonna have fireworks? That's cool. You can have fireworks. You ain't getting no movies, but you can have fireworks. That's really what it is, right?
Yeah.
This was not a phase in COVID going away. This was faith in people listening and doing the right thing, which we know
Not here.
is absolutely not going to happen
Not here.
in a movie theater.
No.
Not happening in a movie theater.
Especially with something you want to go see.
Yeah, I mean, look. So Tenet has been delayed indefinitely.
Yep.
And while it feels like that means forever, I mean, it's definitely not forever. It will eventually release. The question is, does it have to come to theaters?
I don't think so.
I feel like they feel like it does.
Yes.
I feel like Christopher Nolan feels like it does. What do you all think?
I think
don't
it can
agree.
come out at home. I can watch it on my big 60-inch TV with my own sound surround. I would love to see it on an IMAX screen.
Hey, listen, let's have a conversation real quick because I don't have a lot of pet peeves, but I do. And I can't figure out why you keep saying sound before surround. I've never heard anybody say that before.
What did I say?
You always say sound surround. Is that a specific thing? Like, do you have
He does?
every time?
Now I'm saying it to myself.
Always
Now
said
hold
sound
up.
surround.
I've never picked up on that.
As an enthusiast and a person who used to sell surround sound systems,
Mm-hmm.
it is in my like
Right.
sound surround. Run it back. Go check them all out.
I'll look
sound
later.
surround
We'll
every
figure that
time.
out.
And I'm just trying to figure out if like I missed something or if it's like one of those things where the area across the street where you live from me, that's what they say. Like some people say pop and some people say soda. Figure out,
Shoes and
like if I
sneakers.
missed something, my man said my 60-inch and my own sound surround.
You don't say done.
All right.
I don't know, but
Refrigerator.
Bridges, sir.
I'm good with it being here.
Bridges.
How about refrigerator?
Well, that I kind of understand.
I
Though I
don't.
did have somebody do that to me the other day, and I had to catch myself. Um, we're not gonna go into details about that. Anyway, the jokes. You're good if you can watch it at home
I'm good.
with your big TV and your audio.
I'm good.
Is that though um suitable for everyone? Because not everyone
Not everyone.
has a TV that size
Facts.
and a sound system that works that way. So, like, is there a thing that says if you're gonna watch Tenet for the first time, you shouldn't do it on your laptop? You shouldn't do it on your cell phone, your tablet. You shouldn't do it on your 37-inch, 42-inch that technically doesn't really do 4K because you can't really get that many pixels, whatever, whatever. Um, are there enough people who just don't have that as a thing slash an option that like
Definitely still is. I definitely think that's a thing. Definitely still a thing. Some people, I don't think it's the fact that they necessarily don't want to get it. I just think they just like, you know what? I'm not spending money on that. For a lot of people, they just, whether it's they're out like working consistently, don't watch TV or movies like that, and they used to find that enjoyment of going to like the movie theater, seeing it on the big screen or doing whatnot ever. Um,
yeah, I mean, look, I'm seeing in the comments. I see Leanne saying she wants the big screen. She missed movie theaters, and I get that. I totally get that. Um, Damon, I see you wanting to drive in. You're right. J. Robert, most of us have surround sound. What's up, Alfonso? Um, yeah, look, Damon, I don't know where you live, but we have a drive-in here. And I will shout it out because I frequent this drive-in. I have not been this year, but Benji's is a fantastic place. Um, I love the way it's set up. You pay, you go to the movie, you pay basically for a single adult ticket, for each person in your vehicle. You can pay a fee if you want to bring your own food instead of using the concession stand. So a lot of people do that. And you pay the one fee, same as what it would cost you. It's actually a little bit less than what it would usually cost you to watch one movie.
mhm.
And they usually run at least a double feature, and you can watch both films. Sometimes a triple feature. Cost is always the same, even if they do a triple feature. And while they do still have the stands that the mics used to be on so that you could hear the movie, now they have their own radio station. So when you pull up, you tune your radio to that station. It plays through your speakers in the car. Great time. Awesome. It's the biggest screen on the East Coast. Great time. However, because of what's going on, they have only been showing like old films. So
Mm.
nothing that is a new release or, whatever. If I could access my text messages, they text me every week. I get a text from them every week saying, here's what's playing this week. And again, it's a really good time. I mean, you're right, Jay Robert. I totally understand that because usually a trip to the theater for me is me and at least four other people.
I think that's one
A
of the
lot of
reasons
times,
why.
six
I
other
think that's
people.
one of the reasons why now I think most people would care. Like, kind of like people are looking for something to do. I think putting movies out right now on demand or however you choose to release them. I think people will more so think about that. Like, I don't have to pay for all this stuff. They'll start to come into more of that ideology of thinking. Like, I don't have to pay for nothing.
Yeah,
We can all sit and watch it. I have it for
yeah,
24 hours or whatever to watch as many times as I want. I think people would
right.
be on board with putting these on their Disney Pluses or their HBO Maxes or whatever. You know what I mean? To just watch them, pay extra fee,
Yeah,
whatever. Like, and depending on how things turn out and things get situated to go back to some type of normalcy or not, just whatever. Like, you can adjust then.
right.
But I think for now, like, sit down, like, companies sit down together and figure this thing out. Like, give us some way to put it online right now. Because right
Mhm.
now they're just sitting here and we're all asking for it. A lot of us are asking for just put it online at this point. It's been too
Just give
long.
it to us.
Yeah, keep pushing it back.
I mean, what I would say along those lines is, um, Leanne's also saying she doesn't care if it's an old movie,
Mhm.
which I get. But I also think that that's a very important point, even in this discussion about a movie that we're waiting to release that hasn't come out yet. I totally believe that there is a large group of people that if you put it out now, even if they watch it now while they're at home, if you make a big deal about it coming to the theater when the theaters open back up and everybody's coming back, they're still going to
Gonna
go. They're
see
going to
it.
pay to go
Absolutely.
get that movie
That's
theater experience. I just think that people will still be willing to do it, even though at that point it might be considered old or it's something that was already released. I mean,
Agreed.
we see them do like the Fathom stuff all the time, where they take an older
Old
film,
movies.
re-release
Run a
it for an
couple of those.
anniversary or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. It only
especially, I
runs for
think,
a
especially
weekend or a week.
with like the franchise films, a lot of people will
Mm-hmm.
be able to say like, I've seen them all in the theater except this one. As soon as it's over
Right,
and they put it back out, I'm gonna go see it so I can have that in that
right.
same watch as everything
Absolutely.
else.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think that Warner Brothers could certainly put this movie out, right? Even if they said we're doing it as a limited release for 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like maybe an extra day, maybe Saturday through Saturday. You know what I mean, or something like that. We're putting it out for 1 week. It's gonna be on this service. Tune in, watch it, enjoy it, and when the time is right, we are then gonna put it out. You know what I mean, on the theater. Make it on demand. Say, don't make it available on a streaming service. Make it on demand. Say you got to pay $20 and watch it, or
Mm-hmm.
make it less than that. Say you're renting it and you got to do it for $10.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, and watch it, and come see it in the theater when the way it's
When it
intended.
comes.
Because the thing about Christopher Nolan is that I actually saw a video like a week or so ago that was all about Christopher Nolan and how really a lot of his career has been made by him specifically releasing films to IMAX. How
Mm-hmm.
IMAX has been so important to the way that he shoots and what he does and so forth. And so I do believe that there is something that could be lost
Definitely.
by not getting that, you know what I mean, that full experience. It's why people go to IMAX versus going to a regular theater versus going to 3D,
Mhm.
whatever. So sure, there are certain nuances that I think are worth playing. Yeah, I mean, look, I right now I think Warner Brothers wants to try to recoup as much money as possible, and I think that they want it to be a big enough deal. I feel the same way about what's going on with Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
That joint's definitely getting pushed. I don't
Mhm.
see that coming out. Um, right now, I mean, there are certain aspects of Wonder Woman that are already spoiled because the novels have come out. Like the junior novels, the books have come out. And so like right now, one of the things that's being talked about is how they intend to retcon Wonder Woman's appearance in Batman and Superman with Wonder Woman 84 because it's set before the events of Justice League,
Right.
Mhm.
but that at the end of in that movie was like she went away for 100 years and stopped dealing with men and what. I don't really want to get into what they're saying is happening as far as that's concerned. But just know that there are basically spoilers that already exist. The toys are
I
out.
was
I
toys
don't
will
know if
do
y'all
that.
saw
Yep.
the cheetah toy,
Yep.
bro. The cheetah toy currently available at Target might be the worst movie toy I've seen in a
That
very long
joint
time.
is
That thing,
bad.
it looks pretty terrible, bro.
It's bad.
Pretty terrible. Like knockoff Barbie terrible. Like like
It looks
hollow
like
bar.
it
I
was
don't, I don't
designed
know.
to
I
be
don't.
a
I don't know
Barbie.
that you gentlemen ever got to put your hands on Barbies for real, but Barbies are like solid. They're solid construction.
Craftsmanship.
I mean, like they're not hollow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever got your hands on a hollow Barbie? It just feels like the weightlessness. Like it's like, oh, this is space Barbie. This is a real Barbie. Like, yeah, I don't. It's pretty terrible. Um, on that same note, New Mutants. Did you see that there was a new teaser that came out for New Mutants
I didn't see the teaser. I saw a
today?
poster. I didn't see a poster.
Today.
I saw a thumbnail. Oh, today? No, okay. Didn't know one came out today. They just gonna keep giving us
Yeah, so
trailers.
that dropped today. Well, so here's the thing. New trailer dropped today. The YouTube description still says that the movie is releasing on August 28th. Let's call that a lie. Let's just
Survey
good faith.
says.
That was a lie.
However, let's run this down for a second. There is a New Mutants panel this weekend for Comic-Con Online.
Mm-hmm.
And speculation abound that they are going to shadow drop this movie onto either Disney Plus or Hulu immediately following the panel.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Almost like the Cloverfield Super Bowl thing.
Yeah.
I'm good with this.
I'm good with that.
I am too. Give me the movie.
Which day? Do you know which day the panel is? You know which day the panel is?
The 23rd, I think.
If it's the 23rd, I'm off. I am perfectly fine with that.
J. Robert Dean says Disney Plus August 28th, which I also could see. However, there is a part of me that believes that this may not actually make it to Disney Plus because it is supposed to be darker, edgier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there happen to be things that are in this was supposed to be the first, like, superhero horror movie.
Yeah.
So it could be that they push it to Hulu instead of pushing it to Disney Plus. However, I'm just ready for this to come out.
Yes.
Let's just
give it to us.
Let's just.
This has been the longest one.
Just chalk it up and do it. Chalk it up and do it at this point. Like,
the first trailer for this movie came out in 2017, like April of 2017. All right. So we're over 3 years beyond the first trailer. These children in this movie are not even children anymore. Like, it's not. Nope. They're not the same people.
So it's like if they were going to figure out a sequel, it's like you guys are going to have to do some time jumps and that jump. I know they're not. No, I know they're not.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Not, but it's like 5 years later.
Yeah, pick a different angle.
Well, here's the other thing. Do they lean on the fact now that Disney has ownership over those Fox properties and has ownership over X-Men, with the fact that this year is the 20th anniversary of X-Men, the first X-Men film? Because that also could be a thing. That's a thing that I would be like, if they re-release X-Men to the theaters, I would go watch all of them. Honestly, all of them. I'm one of the people who doesn't think that the third X-Men film was that bad. I don't really think it was bad, but I know that's blasphemy in some circles. I'm used to being blasphemous in many of these circles. So,
unpopular opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I'll ask you this: Did you ever think they were going to kill Professor X in one of those movies?
No. I damn near cried in The Last Stand when I went to the theater. No, like
my man.
Like,
it was disgusting. It was disgusting. Like, it was terrible. I mean, it wasn't just like
die off real quick. Like, my man started disintegrating, and then he had to hit the last line.
Peeled apart.
Yeah, my girl was like holding, like she could see it on my face, like she just had to grab my hand. And it's like, it's okay. I'm like, no, it's not okay. They're killing Professor X.
Come on, jokes.
Nah, it's Professor X. And on top of it was Patrick Stewart too. That was completely left field. That's what did it. It was completely left field. I did not expect that, but I mean, we got it.
It was like watching Professor X die and Jean-Luc Picard die at the same time.
That's pretty epic, sir.
That's pretty epic. I feel your pain,
He's one of those guys that you've never seen. Hey, you've never seen Patrick Stewart get killed, die, or anything. So that was one of those kind of like, this ain't gonna happen. This ain't gonna. Oh my God, they did it.
It was pretty serious. Like, yeah, I'm with it. All right, so check this out. I think New Mutants does shadow drop. I'm pulling forward to shadow drop. So I'm just putting it out there. I think it's shadow drop.
I'm pulling forward to just shadow drop. Yeah, just give it.
I want to see this movie so bad. And I'm scared it's going to be bad, but I still want to see it so bad.
I want to see it. I don't know if the so bad thing is there. I just want to see it so I'm in the know. That's it. Just so I'm in the know what's going on in MCU. We can speculate going forward, all that stuff. I just need it right now.
Would you be disappointed if, like, this film comes out and there's nothing that even remotely makes it seem like it's tied to the MCU at all?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
would
don't.
only because they mentioned that it was tied to the MCU. That's the only reason
I know
why.
it was a rumor. Like, I would be okay if it tied in, but if it ended up not, I won't be too mad just for the fact that it's waited so long for this movie to come out now that it's like whatever plan that you probably had 3 years, 4 years ago when you were probably in the planning phase or whatnot of it probably just went out the window. So
I mean, it certainly could not have originally been tied to the MCU because they didn't have ownership
ownership,
over it
right,
at
right.
that time. So whatever, if it is, maybe it's an after credit scene
I'm
or
cool with
something
it.
like
They
that.
do
Yeah,
it
and
tied in.
I'm fine with that as long as there is a tie-in somewhere. I'm fine.
I mean, if you're going mutants and you're gonna try to do this dark thing, I think maybe Multiverse of Madness would be a good way to pull it in. I mean, they'll show if it's
You're
actually
right.
tied in this universe or if maybe that is a different universe. And maybe Scarlet somehow sees said things that are happening, or Doctor Strange sees said things that are happening, and we run from there.
Um, I just want to say that absolutely Spock dying, one of the worst, one of my worst moments in a theater ever
I didn't get to see it in the
was
theater,
Spock
unfortunately.
dying. You're little. That's fine.
But trust, that
You've
hurt
seen
though.
it though, right?
I've seen it, yes, and that one hurt.
Oh, okay.
That hurt.
Um, yeah, that was pretty serious. Um, I was like, for real. My father was a huge Trek fan, and like the idea of having a film that is called The Search for Spock was like, we gotta go. What do you mean, my man? Like,
He
we gotta go
dead.
get this
He
dude. Like,
dead. What do you mean?
let's do this. Oh, okay. Now let's go. Okay, let's do this.
And then
Okay,
we
yeah.
find out
Nah,
what
that's a
really
real
happens
thing.
to Vulcans. Like, what did you guys do with the body? Like,
Yeah,
we shot it off
yeah.
to. No! Like, my bad.
Ooh. All right. So listen, we're about 25 minutes into the show,
Hmm.
and it's about to get serious. So,
Oh
Now,
boy. Time to
serious.
put the gloves on. Take the gloves off. Which way we
yeah, let's take a curve with through the
This is
news.
the virtual him turning to the side. He got something for us.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know who's in the chat who saw the post earlier. I gave y'all some homework. If you haven't watched, there is a video by a group called the Watchtower Database. These guys do phenomenal work about all things in the DC animated universe. It's absolutely phenomenal. And they have a video, Superman or Super Wuss. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to search. Or you can just find the link. It's on the page. It's on my personal page. Just go check it out. While normally I prefer for these shows to be a bit more candid and for Sin and Jokes to not know what they're up against, this is a special occasion, and here's why. For weeks, I have had to deal with all of the people who just don't understand why Batman's not a superhero, and I'm cool with that. But now, oh Sin, talk to me for a second. Let's have a conversation, Sin. Let's
Okay.
talk about Superman.
Well, how much trash he
Because yes, that. It is a known thing
Hey, that video
that
didn't
you
help.
have an actual hatred for Superman.
I hate this.
Before we dig too deep, I want to give you the opportunity to just tell everybody why. Talk to him. Preach for a moment, if you will. The floor is yours, sir.
take it
Besides
away.
the fact that he's a bitch.
I mean, come on, man.
I mean, he like, where do I start?
Let me just hold on. Let's do this. Let's put things in perspective. I am an avid. I love Spider-Man. Love Spider-Man. I get Spider-Man gifts for every possible occasion. It's just how it works. I'm perfectly okay with that.
Mhm.
Sin, for his birthday one year, was specifically given a Superman pinata so that he could, when he felt the need, beat it up.
Oh, what a greatest
And
gift
he
ever.
saved it.
Oh, yeah.
He held on to it.
I used it for target practice.
It's a real thing. So,
Yeah.
let's add a little context to this. Please try to explain to people with some actual reasoning why you feel the way you feel about Superman.
No, as powerful as Superman is, number one, there should be zero. Like the crime rate should be lower than Gotham. Like there should be no reason.
Oh yeah.
There should be zero reason for somebody to come and rob a bank in Metropolis. That should be the last place people should think about robbing a bank. You can stop somebody by the time it takes a loading screen in Grand Theft Auto to pop up to go stop a robbery and be back on the couch while the game's still loading. Like, come on, stop it. Like, why is it that enemies you've been fighting for years upon years upon years, you know these people, they know you. Black Adam shows up. Why in the world are you going to sit and get your ass beat around the city for 30 minutes, destroying all these blocks, and then all of a sudden, okay, I've had enough. Do one thunderclap and the fight's over. Like, dude, you've been fighting this dude for years. You know he's capable of. Stop him. I ain't saying kill him, just stop him. We don't need all that. You're Superman. Like in the, I think it was what movie was it? The what was talking about with Supergirl, Batman, Superman, Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
They're in Themyscira, and an army of Doomsdays show up, and they start beating the life out of everybody out there, just killing Amazons, just putting in all this work on everybody. Superman finally gets fed up, backs up, everybody stand back, and nukes them with one massive heat ray. My dude, the entire time you could have done that, you know who Doomsday is, he put you down. Why are you waiting till now just to do it? He's a bitch. That's just pure and simple. Like, I hate that dude.
Oh, that would hurt.
He's a goddamn terrorist. Sorry, I apologize.
A little bit.
I hate him. I hate him. And the fact that, yes, Batman be putting him down. Like, I'm just saying. Like, Gaddis and a human. Dude, you're weak.
I feel like that's one of the reasons why you lean so heavily towards Batman.
No.
He always got kryptonite.
He beats him, so he gets that point.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah. All right, look, here's the thing. While I don't feel quite as strongly about Superman as Sin does, I'm not a fan. I feel like Superman, credit where credit is due. First superhero, give him some powers, make some stuff up, cool. What I find has happened, and the issues that I have with Superman are a lot like the issues I have with Batman, where they basically just write in abilities for them to succeed. So if you watch this video, and the video specifically does refer to Superman as he exists in the animated universe. Mm-hmm. So the Superman show, the Justice League show, Justice League Unlimited, the comic books that are tied to those shows. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you will find that one of the complaints there is, yeah, Superman has this thing where it almost seems like his ability is maybe tied to his will. So, like, if he wants to, he can pick a plane up with one hand and chuck it across a room. You know what I mean? Like, just pick it up. Like, you will see times when he struggles to stop a single fire truck. Mm-hmm. You will see times when he struggles to keep a hydraulic press from coming down, but then he will single-handedly hold an entire building up, like an entire skyscraper up. Like, his abilities tend to fluctuate. And so they actually go through this list of abilities that Superman has or is supposed to have. And again, one of my issues with him is that he has too much power. He has too many powers. And that, it does make it hard to write for him. I take your point, say Robert Dean's, that, yeah, Superman should have bigger things, bigger fish to fry. He should always be caught up with bigger things. And so if you're going to try a petty crime, there's a good chance that Superman's going to be too busy worried about something bigger than that to be worried about you trying to rob a bank or a jewelry store. That's why they still have a police department.
Then leave Metropolis.
I get that.
Superman.
I get that. Right? Like, but I feel like people would much rather take that risk in Metropolis than they would in Gotham. and something seems off
Yeah.
about that.
People still shoot at Superman when he shows up.
Still shoot at Superman.
Even though we know he's bulletproof and they do nothing, people still give him no respect and shoot at him.
Like, here we go again. How many rounds y'all gonna waste? Drop the clip, put a new clip
Damon,
in.
I hear you. I hear you. Captain Marvel, I kind of feel the same way about. The difference with Captain Marvel, I think, is that Captain Marvel is not always all-powerful because there's a Billy Batson. There is a version of him that is a child, right? That he's not always impervious, quote unquote. He's not all like Clark Kent and Superman are the same guy. They are the same guy. Superman in a business suit with glasses and a hat and a pen and a pad is not less powerful or less likely to get hurt than the one in the cape. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like changing the phone booth, make it happen. The Billy Batson adds a certain level of like flexibility to that character that I think works better. Also, they're two almost identical characters that exist in the same world that didn't originally exist in the same world. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like DC eventually took ownership over Shazam and brought him in, and so Black Adam is kind of in there too. There are
yes, I do know
characters
what a phone booth
within
is, J. Robert Deans. I do know what a phone booth is. Yes, I do. There was
because you've seen one in a comic book.
No, because I definitely have been in one. At least my dad used a payphone like ages ago when they were still a thing.
Not all payphones were in phone booths. I just, there are definitely characters, enemies, villains within the DC universe that rival, or at least appear to rival Superman on the surface. But when they want him to, he just destroys them. Whether it's Mongol, whether it's Doomsday, whether it's Darkseid, there just comes a point where he just will, because he's Superman, will the additional strength, power, or whatever to like literally pluck
summon the seven
Lobo across, you know what I mean? Like in the last episode of Justice League Unlimited, Superman gives this speech about the world basically being cardboard to him. Like bricks and like none of that matters. And he has this rare opportunity to just go off in a fight against Doomsday, where he proceeds to essentially
Darkseid
punch him one time through like multiple, like just Goku Super Saiyan punch him through building after building after building, right? There are so many issues with not only the power set that he has, but how powerful each of those powers are. So let's run it down, if you will. Let's start with X-ray vision.
Gotcha.
I can see through walls, can't see through lead. I'm cool with that. We're cool with that?
Cool with that.
However, there are actual instances where he fires
that was some
X-ray beams.
That was BS.
Fires X-ray beams.
That was BS. And look, I was watching that earlier. I was like, really? Like, really?
Listen. Heat vision. Heat vision is malleable to the writer that is writing him for the situation that he's in, because sometimes heat vision has no beam at all. Will just heat and melt something, set something on fire, no beam. Other times, you will actually see a beam, leave his eyes, it seems precise, and what have you. And then there are other times, like in the Superman Apocalypse, where he literally makes a beam that is, I mean, it's like Cyclops. Like, it is the width of the entire beach.
Yes.
And wipes out the entire army of Doomsdays. Where does that come from? How did you did that? And I meant it that way. There's an issue, I think, with like, there should be like a Bible, right? That says, this is what can be done. This is the finite, you know what I mean? Like, this is how far these abilities can and can't go. Does that make sense? Like,
it should be.
Sure, over time, like, a character can grow.
Yes.
But it should feel like it's happening, like it's actually happening over time, or something like that.
He ain't got no level cap. He can just tap into whatever level he wants at any given time.
When he feels like it. Like, even when they build in a weakness, like, his strength comes from the sun. I mean, of course, originally, like, Superman could not fly. He could just jump really high. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have all the abilities he has. Wonder Woman didn't used to be able to fly either.
Invisible jet.
We don't need an invisible jet anymore. And that's cool. Sometimes you can retcon something, change it up for new things or whatever. Like, I get that. I'm not. But not only does he have heat vision, he has the ability to see radio waves.
That one was the one.
Infrared. Just because they need him to at the time. You understand what I'm saying? When I say Superman is overpowered, he is OP, it is because they literally just take even the base abilities he has, skyrocket him. Let's take X-ray vision and let him shoot it at people. What? Why? Why? Why would he need to do that when he already has freeze breath? And why does he have freeze breath? Does he have freeze breath?
That was an interesting one that I was, because there's so many inconsistencies with that. Like, I know there have been a few, like, let's use the Superman video game that came out in N64. He did have the freeze breath in the game.
Which but nobody should play anyway. But okay.
But outside of that, you never really saw him use freeze breath. He either was like bouncing cold beam back at someone that was shooting at him, or he just I gotta phrase this the right way. He would use it to the point where I guess he did it so it became cold. I don't get it, but it was a wind chill. I don't know, but it's just so many inconsistencies around that it doesn't seem like that it's an actual power or ability. It just seems like, oh, I'm just gonna take advantage of Mr. Freeze shooting at me. Oh, here, I'm just gonna blow your thing back at you. But
your beam back at you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we kind of covered super strength.
That's a given,
right? But again, sometimes that level of strength seems way lower than other times.
In certain instances.
And if you said to me, well, it's nighttime and the moon is out, but the sun's not out, so he's not as strong as he would be if it was like 12 noon, or if he was like, is Superman stronger at the equator? I don't understand. Shouldn't he be stronger at the equator?
I guess they've never done that yet. Maybe that's going to be in the next Superman story somewhere. I don't think they've ever explored that.
I don't.
It's all
I feel like
behind the pen.
And that, again, that's my thing. It's that he does kind of have like this literal just like list of these are the abilities he has. Mm-hmm. But then there seems to be this freedom to just write those abilities however you want them, mm-hmm, for the sake of the time. You know what I mean? Like, all right, well, this is what's going on. Like, again, listen, I'm very much y'all know I hate it, but like, yeah, Batman has bat shark repellent just because his utility belt is magic. And you just got to write it in. Just give him anti-penguin pills. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like,
I agree. That's something that Robert Deans did say. Maybe just think about that. That's one thing that Marvel editors have done far better than DC. Keep a hold of their characters' abilities. So whacked out left field stuff, doesn't happen. And suddenly becomes canon for no reason. Yes, I do agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I certainly think that's just kind of what it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're gonna talk about the weaknesses and the kryptonite in a
Oh, we'll
moment. We're
get into
getting
that.
there. We haven't. We.
I swear
we
I wouldn't be shocked if tomorrow the dude goes Super Saiyan in his next issue. Like, come on, dude.
but he
Like,
already
Oh,
did that.
technically, I was
He
gonna
already
say,
did that. A
I
couple
was
years ago, when he learned to take all the power that
oh
he
the
absorbed from the sun
sun.
and push it out from himself like a very large spirit bomb, but then it turns him human for 3 days.
Hmm. When I read that, I was like, my thing was, where did you just like
that's when I
look?
kiss my body.
Like I'm cool with the fact that you know what you have to keep yourself reserved as like in his words not to break everything that he touches because of how powers. You know what? I'm
Sure,
cool with that, but it's like
sure.
absorbing the sun. How did you know you could do that? Like there's never been at any point in time that you've even like obviously yes. When you go up, the sun rays give you your strength or whatnot ever. But what just made you decide one day, you know what? I'm gonna absorb the sun. I need an extra bit of strength to take on this person. I'm going to absorb the sun and just send out this massive spirit bomb, Kamehameha, whatever you want to call it. Like, and when I saw his gold form and everything, I was just like, oh yeah, we did it. We turned him Super Saiyan. Like that was
We pushed it.
that was
We pushed
literally
it.
that was literally what I said. I was like, he's a Super Saiyan now. It's over. It's
Let's
done.
talk about super speed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Woo, God.
There's no way Superman is faster than the Flash. He can't be.
I don't think
He
so.
can't be.
But the way they make that thing seem
They
like
they try to make it a thing like they always have them race. They never quote unquote really tell you who wins. I mean, I guess there are
You
times,
can't get
right?
on
But
homeboy to
you'll
get
as
dusted
far
in
as
front of
I'm
everybody.
concerned, as far as I'm concerned, they did say that Flash was because when they did, I forget what that. I think that was Justice League when he was fighting against the Brainiac infused Lex Luthor, and he had to run around the whole planet to do that super punch to him to kind of like get the armor off of him. And Clark was running with him, and he just told him like, "Look, that was for
I can't
show.
do it.
That was for show." And then he just took off the extra speed with it and left him and left Supes in the dark. Supes ain't know what was going on. It
Nah,
was
he knew what was going on. He can see him because he has supervision
super
too.
X-ray. They can see
But
across.
like it's I mean, look, as far as the DC animated universe is concerned, there are theories that there's no Speed Force the in the animated universe. That's for another discussion, but I'll just say that because in every other iteration, including in the comic books, in the movies, whatever, that like when Flash runs, like there's this lightning that the lightning represents the Speed Force, regardless of like what the color of the lightning is, whether it's blue or it's
Right.
yellow or whatever. But that like if you watch, I've actually been rewatching the first season of Justice League over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
and when Flash runs, it's just a blur. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
no lightning,
Yeah.
there's
Red
no,
blur.
and that could just be an animation thing or whatever. Um, but there's been speculation that technically he doesn't actually have the ability to tap into the Speed Force. But Superman can't tap into the Speed Force. He shouldn't be that fast. I don't understand. But there are moments where he seems like he's way faster than he should be. Kind of like Wonder Woman. And then, you know what? Let's not talk about Justice League.
Don't even do it. That should not have been seen by human eyes at all on a movie screen.
But here's the other things, and these are the most interesting things I think. At the end of the video, they talk about like very unknown abilities. Because I think when it comes, like if you ask people what are Superman's abilities, most people are going to say super strength, he can fly, heat vision, X-ray. They might say X-ray vision, they might say heat breath, they might, I mean, you know, or freeze breath. They might forget about that.
Speed, flight, strength. Yeah, the basic. Invulnerable.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, voice mimicry. There is an episode where he dresses as Bruce Wayne
Mm-hmm.
in Batman's outfit because Bruce Wayne is missing, and he is mimicking Bruce Wayne's voice, and Robin is unsure and realizes that it's actually Superman,
Mm-hmm.
and he tells him that he can do that because he has precise muscle control, and then
I remember
proceeds to actually mimic
that.
Robin's voice to Robin. And Robin's like, yo, don't do that again. So this dude can sound like anybody he wants? Like he can just, this is an ability of his? What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Oh, because we needed him
Yeah.
to be Bruce Wayne
Yeah.
Let's
in that episode for the moment.
Because let's be real here. If he was able to do that, he should have been using that from the jump street. Because there's no difference in the voice of Superman and Clark Kent. Like, it's the same guy. Like, I would have think maybe Clark would have had the normal or the higher pitched voice, and maybe Supes would have the deeper voice. I don't know which way he would want to go with it, but if you could have done that,
man, it's the same dude. He don't even be trying to hide it for real.
Yeah. Here's the other thing that was really interesting. Hyperintelligence, a real thing, an actual ability that Superman is supposed to have, used to pass tests when he was in school.
Mm-hmm.
How is one of his super abilities hyperintelligent, and he's still dumber than Batman, who has no powers? What are we doing? So, look, and I haven't even gotten to the weaknesses, but look, for real, we're just going to weaknesses real quick, because there's not a lot of them. Kryptonite.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Magic.
Yep.
And apparently electricity.
I was laughing so hard at that one.
I died at that one. Like,
listen,
scene after scene.
If you want to rob a bank in Metropolis, you don't need bullets or guns. You just need a taser.
That's it.
You just need a taser.
You can put him down.
You can put him down with a taser. Oh. It's the dumbest. Wait, what? And listen.
Man, and it makes it. You know
what? Listen.
It wasn't like one or two.
The montage.
That's what I was.
Yeah, it wasn't just one or two. It was a bunch of them.
The amount of times, and when you see that, and I'm like, yo, how many episodes did he actually get electrocuted in? Was a bunch of them where it was just him? Then there was a bunch of them where they were, like, the whole Justice League got the electric treatment.
Oh, yeah.
Like.
Oh, yeah.
Electricity. I'm going to stick my Pikachu on him.
I don't like the way that sounded, but okay.
Okay,
that just didn't sound... Okay. That is an issue with phrasing, sir.
Is that what you call it, jokes?
Only
because you guys took it down.
That how you walk into the bedroom, jokes? I'm gonna stick this Pikachu on you, girl.
I hate you. I hate you.
But you decided to
let
do
it.
You had it.
It was over. Like, the moment was done. We did this once already tonight. Nobody else got to see it. Stop it. I just can't with you right now. I can't. Okay. And jokes, put your Pikachu away. I can't right now.
I can't.
What is wrong?
Man, you need to continue. Skip it. Continue.
So look.
I'm trying to behave.
They say that he doesn't actually have magic as a weakness, so to speak, just that he doesn't have any specific defenses against it. So, like, he's just as susceptible as anybody else is to it, or whatever. It's not like, he doesn't, like, fall just because.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. I think what I managed to figure out is that they write Superman with too much respect.
Mm-hmm.
There is something about Superman as a character that I think within DC that says you cannot have other characters that seem more powerful, that seem like they're faster, that seem like they're smarter because of what Superman is to this company. He is the guy that's at the front, standing in front with his hands on his hips. He is the representative of truth, justice, and the American way. He is the guy. And so it's like they will not allow for someone to write Superman in a way that makes him look like he is not as good as someone else. There can be brief moments, and then there's let's come back. You got you need to know I'm Superman. I was holding back. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? Like, I'm not really going as hard as I could. And I think that's what a lot of the issue is. I feel like there are probably writers who have written Superman weaker than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, look, even if you take Dark Knight Rises, if you take Batman at an old age, just I had enough of you, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put on this armor. I'm gonna get the homie Ollie, who's missing an arm, with the kryptonite arrows. We about to go out here and pummel this dude. And technically, I feel like they even wanted to write it where Batman succeeds in actually defeating Superman for real, for once, for real. And they had to take it back. He fakes a heart attack so that he can, and it's a way of making Batman look like he's outsmarting him, because he's listening for his heartbeat, you know what I mean, or whatever. He's got the joint planned out to a T because he's Batman. But then even in the end, after the funeral, it's kind of like Superman knows that he's still around, that there's still something happening, and that he's directing things behind the scenes or underground, and just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so he outsmarted him, but not really. You know what I mean? Like, they just won't allow Superman to come off of the pedestal.
They put him on too high of a pedestal. Yeah, absolutely.
And now you can't undo it. You can't undo it. You have characters that exist that technically are and or should be more powerful, if not as strong, in a Supergirl. You can't let that happen. You know what I mean? She's always got to be the little cousin. He's got to protect, and you know what I mean? Like, it just, and that might actually be an issue, a top level issue with all of the main characters in Justice League, in one way, shape, or form. Superman just sits at the top of that. Like, Batman is in that same boat. Like, you just can't have him get outsmarted or have him not be, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter that things don't line up. From like a continuity standpoint, last issue he could do this issue he can't. You know what I mean? Like, he's so smart that he's smarter than everybody else, but he gets captured by people who aren't as smart as the Riddler. How did that happen? You understand what I'm saying? Like, you just can't. So there seems to be this need to keep them at the pinnacle. And I think it creates a problem. I mean, I guess it's working. You know what I mean? It's a problem for me. Yeah. All right. You're right. Supergirl, because she's a girl. Wonder Woman, because she's a girl. Because I've seen Wonder Woman. There are episodes where Wonder Woman does things that it looks like Superman was not able to accomplish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for sure, does things that it's like, oh, well, he couldn't do it, so she did it. But, for all intents and purposes, like, there are moments where you'll see, like, somebody shooting at Batman, and, like, Wonder Woman will run, jump in front of him, and begin to deflect bullets with her bracers, which that might be the worst power in all of the DC universe. That might be the flukest joint.
Perfect bullet braces.
But like, Superman could easily just step in front of him. You know what I mean? And just like be there.
And just stand there. Don't gotta move.
You know what I mean?
Hands at the waist.
There are things they do with Superman. Yeah, just stand there with your underoos on the outside. And the Brandon Ross Superman outfit, worst Superman outfit, I think. That is a regular Superman outfit. Because his underoos had belt loops. Why does Superman wear a belt? Why do you have a belt? Is it because Batman has a belt? But it's skin tight.
Yeah.
And but that means he has on a belt under the belt that his suit pants are in when he's Clark Kent.
Hey, he gotta do what he gotta do.
Hey, look, they both some trash.
Hey, listen.
Superman and Clark Kent came.
Where does Superman keep his cape when he's Clark Kent?
That joint must be rolled up.
If his
gotta have
Superman
like a
outfit
or something.
Is and again, it's like when they write stuff like the reason why Superman's outfit, like Spider-Man regularly gets whooped. Like, he gets hit. Like, he has abilities to dodge stuff, but like, he always ends up with his suit torn to shreds. You know what I'm saying? Bleeding, whatever. And like, people shoot Superman like his suit doesn't rip, his cape doesn't tear unless he's fighting Doomsday or whatever, and it is because they have written in that his actual abilities extend just
Beyond. Mm-hmm.
beyond his body, so that his suit actually has the same powers as he has,
Man, Sue got power.
almost like how if you have the ability to turn invisible, like
Your
Invisible
clothes
Woman
turn
can actually make
invisible.
her clothes invisible,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but not everybody has that. Like some people go invisible and then have to get naked. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a
My hero.
Damon.
Very true.
When you wore that Superman costume, did you have the cape tucked in to your suit jacket as Clark Kent as well? They have written themselves into a corner
Man,
with him.
Clark can't keep that cape in between his butt cheeks.
What? I don't. What? What is happening?
Finally, wasn't me that said it. It was him.
That's what Superman keeps his. That's what Clark Kent keeps his cape.
I just, while I'm kept in his wife's purse,
Okay.
Eh?
Superman probably has a merce that his cape is inside of.
Guess he gives it to
Does it
Lois.
attach separately then? Is it Velcro
Oh,
the-
God.
I
to the
feel
shoulder?
like,
You could draw me
I feel-
Superman with a merch. That would be funny.
I don't know. It's got to be like latches or something on there. Because if it was Velcro, that would be flying off like that. Like, ain't no way it's Velcro.
Okay, so check this out. Superman, like, there are episodes where I just watched an episode like a couple days ago where it was the introduction of Aquaman into Justice League, and
Okay.
Aquaman attacked a nuclear sub and took the ship down, and the Justice League heard the distress signal and came to save the people in the sub, and then Aquaman ran up on him, like, get out of my waters. You got no time left, get out of my waters. Right? Superman's like, we're sorry, we didn't mean anything. We heard a distress signal, we came to help. You know what I mean? And he's like, nah, they shouldn't have came down here. They should have stayed at the surface where they belong. And, you know, Green Lantern's ready to fight. You know, he's being black. But he was ready to fight. And I guess the point is, Superman was wearing like a breathing apparatus,
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the
like
breathing.
over his face.
Yeah.
that's another. Yeah.
And many times when he goes into space, he does wear a suit. Like, he wears a space suit over himself. But there are episodes where he does not. And I don't understand.
Yeah, super low.
If you watch this video, the breakdown of how fast Superman actually is.
It's absolutely insane. Like,
Yeah.
these guys took their time to. They said, you know, if this was in real time and used, like, let's take the Fatal Five when he was flying towards the sun, and they literally took, if in real time, because we know how far, we have an idea of how far away the sun actually is, and they broke down, it's like, he would have had to be going this speed in order to clock it at 4 minutes and whatever it was for him to reach it, and it was like, I think that one was the billion one. I don't remember. If
Yeah,
I think
it was
I'm
like
pretty
the
sure that
five-
was the
going like-
billion.
Yeah, it was like 5 billion something.
5 billion some odd
5
miles per
billion
hour.
miles per hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, get out of here. Like, nah.
No, bruh. But you're not faster than the Flash. Stop it. Like, they just do whatever it seems to be
Whatever they want.
that's
from
necessary.
Well, I guess. I don't know. That
Whatever they
was.
want.
Look at this. J. Robert Dean said in the older comics, it was explained that he used to use his strength to fold up everything so small it could fit in his coin pocket or in his wallet or some other small place.
Weak, he got
He did the
coin
same
pocket.
with his everyday suit, tucking it into a hidden pocket in his cape.
Tuck this suit in his coin pocket. He's so terrible.
I mean, we're not really just doing DC. Right now, we're really just doing Superman.
Right.
But do we need Tyrone in this conversation? I think you better call Tyrone. Call him.
Oh,
I don't, listen. I feel like,
Oh, man.
his coin pocket.
yeah, I don't like that.
No, it's so fluke.
Oh yeah, Jean Grey Phoenix can do
Oh,
anything,
Phoenix. Phoenix do anything.
anything.
Ain't no stopping
You know what
Phoenix.
though? Here's what I will say though. To a certain extent, they at least made an attempt to try to put a kibosh on that in some way by saying like Professor X put mental blocks in
In place and
that
things
kept her
like
from being able to
Yeah,
use or reach her full potential. Like they did the same thing with Iceman. Like when Iceman
yeah.
started to eventually get more powerful, it was like, well, he just doesn't believe enough in himself that he actually has the ability to do that kind of stuff. He just has to open himself to believe that he can do those certain things without the fear of
Of
dying. You
melting
know
or
what I mean,
something.
or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I think Superman is the definition of overpowered, and I think that it's just he. I think that as a character, he suffers from not only having too many powers and not enough real weaknesses that it becomes difficult to write him, but
Mm-hmm.
then it's more difficult to write him with other characters because technically they have to then provide situations
Mhm.
that pull him out so that you have a need for other characters to exist.
Right.
Because really, the Justice League as a whole is so OP. Because Martian
Oh yeah.
Manhunter, OP, bruh. Wonder Woman is OP.
Green
Aquaman
Lantern,
is OP. Like,
Aquaman, yeah. Their
I
whole
don't
stack
even
was
think people.
okay.
There are things that like Wonder Woman can do that people don't even like. Wonder Woman can talk to animals, right?
Mm-hmm. I think we've
No.
They
seen.
don't even.
I believe we've seen that at least once. I don't know if that was. I don't know if that was a comic thing or if that was like. That was that just. That may have been just. No, you know what? That may have been
Nah, she
like.
just just a power she has. Like Linda Carter used to do it on the old show. That's just a power she has. Like a lot of times I feel like they would just throw a thing out and just be like, "Oh, you know what we need? We need them to be able to do this. Let
She
them
can
do
talk
this.
animals.
Why
The
not?
animal has
You know
the
what I mean?
answer.
Mm-hmm.
The dog
Uh,
saw who killed the person.
yeah, so OP, so OP, and you know, Jean Grey, super powerful, OP for sure. So is Professor X. Like,
Both from Mako level.
as is his son, as is Reed Richards' son,
Mm-hmm.
and Phoenix as a whole other like that's a whole other thing when you add in the Phoenix to Jean Grey. When you combine that,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little more than godlike.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, I just Superman bothers me because I just feel like if I gave any one of you out there his power, well, some half of y'all would probably be evil if you had Superman's powers for real. Because jokes, I know you'd rob a bank.
I mean, I may try to do the good thing for a little bit. I mean, then just start realizing that what I could probably get away with. But I think I would do good for a little bit. I think I would.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that I recall a specific conversation where when I asked you what you would do if you had super speed, you literally the first thing you
Oh,
said was you would rob a bank.
I'm pretty sure I said that. But I mean, we
So
didn't. But we
I
weren't
don't
this. We
like
weren't this deep into it though. Like, if I'm gonna give myself the backstory, I'll probably be the one that tried to do good and just got to a
yeah,
point where I just couldn't handle it anymore because people were just can be a-holes sometimes. So it's like,
yeah,
forget it.
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I think as it turns out, Superman's superpower happens to be whatever they need it to be at the time,
That's an awesome superpower.
and that
Awesome superpower.
is pretty OP.
That is his
That's pretty
superpower.
OP.
I don't even think Goku even has
That's
that
pretty
at
OP.
certain points.
Nah, I mean, nah. Goku does have that. Goku just like will whatever ability Goku needs to have in order to win the fight, he will obtain during the
During the
fight.
fight. Oh man.
Come on, bruh.
Hey, but then he keeps it, and he'll
He
use it
does.
again. And he'll use it again on multiple occasions.
But the other thing is like over time, but they will show that like Goku trains and gets more powerful, and so
They do.
he perfects those abilities over time,
And that's what
like
you're
a
talking
martial
about with
artist, like
Super's
somebody who
part.
has something and gets
Right.
right. It's just like
Yeah.
there's an actual growth to what it is. They will take abilities that Goku had,
Build
layer
them.
additional abilities on, but his old abilities will grow, and he will find that even with the growth of an ability he had, it is not powerful enough to defeat this new enemy, right?
Mhm.
He'll
Yeah.
throw the most powerful thing that he has, that he's been working on and training on and, you know, doing all kinds of crap in extra gravity or whatever to get stronger, and then he will use that technique. He will come up
That's
with an
true.
entire plan that involves other people. Somebody has to die so that he can charge up long enough to use the move. He will use the move, strike the target, game over, and it does nothing.
Nothing.
Like the enemy will just wipe that joint off. Like, oh, I
man.
didn't tell you. I just been playing with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to step it up. And then Goku has to figure out some new thing, and whatever new thing he gets, he will continue to get better at that as he continues to train. You don't see that kind of growth,
In Soups.
I don't think, really
No,
with
no.
any DC character. They just have it.
Yeah,
And then
it just appears when they need it.
yeah, they
I
just
forgot. I can do this.
it's just
It
a
was
new
that one
variation
time
of
when I
it.
studied in Alaska for 4 months. Wait, when did this happen? And I learned how to channel the power of the sun.
Remember
Like, what? No,
remember
Yeah.
that time
what
when
happened?
I told you I was going to the attic to grab something and didn't come back for 4 months? That's when I went.
That was
Right.
it.
Right.
That was when I did it.
I wasn't actually in the attic for 4 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I just look. I'm.
No, I really wasn't there for months.
That's not where I was.
Nah,
Hey,
really,
listen.
Bruce.
You know what? If Goku had Vegeta's mindset, he'd probably be worse off. I think
Yes.
because
Yeah.
Vegeta's only what Vegeta is because he's obsessed with being better than Goku.
That's on facts. If it wasn't for him, Vegeta would be not in
Like-
the place that he's.
That's what drives Vegeta to be what Vegeta is his obsession with being better than Goku. That's it.
That's all the credit to his power.
So-
Just want to be better.
So right. So imagine a world with a Vegeta in it and a Superman. And Vegeta was just always trying to be better than Superman.
Vegeta beat the brakes off Superman.
You think so?
No, I think he in a heartbeat.
You think Vegeta would beat the brakes off Superman?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not getting into this with y'all right now. We're not doing this.
That's
But,
another one. I
but
guess-
we
hey Sam,
oh,
got
we
enough
will
popular
do
opinion,
this.
We can do this.
we will do this. I'm okay with that. But we're not gonna do that right now. Yeah. So look, in conclusion, Superman is OP. And I had enough.
Yes. Yes.
That's the moral of
And
the
now we
story.
know why Sin hates Superman, because he's too strong. He's also kind of like,
Couldn't give me powers because if I had powers,
is he too goody two shoes for you, Sin?
That's in it, but not like with Cyclops or somebody like that or Leonardo. Like it's everything else. Because like we've talked, like when he goes into his quote unquote asshole kind of modes, when you know what I'm saying, injustice and all that type of stuff. Like, all right, cool, because you're using your powers, you know what I'm saying, like fully or whatever. You're not hiding, but you're being who you are, like out front. It ain't this fake Clark Kent Superman crap. Want to save everybody, but all these cities gonna show you death with you around. You suck at your job, just quit, go jump off a damn bridge and kill yourself.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works when you have his powers. Like, I don't think you can jump off a bridge. You know what I mean? He might.
Kryptonite
It's gonna
spikes.
do more damage to whatever you
Oh,
hit. Damn.
okay.
Damn.
Put a kryptonite spikes. That's pretty.
Yeah, you know
Okay.
that Mortal Kombat uppercut.
Vegeta is not a superhero. He might be a super anti-hero.
Absolutely.
He might be a super anti-hero.
But no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real.
Vegeta got too many bodies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bodies.
You right.
Vegeta's body count. My man
You're
was
right.
already
His
content.
his.
He already knew he was going to hell. Like it was like, nah. When
Oh
I
yeah.
finish, what I'm doing, like, nah, I'm going to hell. There ain't no redeeming me. There ain't no going. I, I'm going straight to hell. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You go straight to hell.
Facts.
Yeah. And he's happy to go. I think like he'd be all right. He'd be all right. Soup is too good. That's why movie 3 was good to have his evil version. I mean, yeah. I mean that's part of what makes Injustice so interesting
Mm-hmm.
as a comic, as a game, as
Mm-hmm.
a storyline. The Justice Lords as a whole super
Mm-hmm.
interesting because again, it is one of the one things that I think is a strength, like is a thing for Batman. Is like there are certain times when it's like for Batman, it's like I'm really only here because all of y'all are way too powerful. Like I'm really only here because y'all are way too powerful.
Mm-hmm.
The idea, like I don't know if you could really take the Justice League, the base Justice League characters, and put them against any other group of superheroes and see them losing. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't really think you could do it. They're all of them are OP,
Mm-hmm.
straight up, straight up. Um,
Yeah. Ooh.
yeah,
Suncoast.
that whole thing
Oh.
where like Superman is impervious to fire and lava,
Ah, yes,
but
yes.
a taser will take him down, bruh.
Taser, taser,
Quickly,
taser.
quickly.
I don't understand. Listen, I
Knock him in the one
highly
fuse
encourage
box.
everybody to just watch that video, watch Tower Database. Them dudes do phenomenal work, and that video it lines it all up. I would love to see what y'all think after you've had a chance to check it out. We need to wrap this up. So
Cool.
Hey,
let's talk about what's happening for the rest of this week.
Let's do it.
Obviously, tomorrow we have cutscenes,
Mm-hmm.
8 o'clock
yes.
in the evening.
Yep.
So there is a lot to talk about there. Sin is going to give his impressions of Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be great. On Thursday, we will do a reaction. So Xbox has a showcase. They're going to be showing off Halo Infinite. Supposed to be showing a bunch of new games going into the new generation. So we're going to be talking about that on Thursday at some point. We'll figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday is also the season finale of Anime Vault. So that's
Yep.
episode 6. Sin,
Mm-hmm.
please tell everybody what they can expect.
We're going with the Guyver for the season finale. One of my favorites growing up. Want to take it out on a high note, hopefully.
The original Guyver,
Oh, yes.
not the remade Guyver, not the
No,
new Guyver.
no. 12
Old
episodes.
school Guyver.
Yeah, old school. Yes.
Old school original Guyver.
Yeah.
Jay Roberts said he didn't have time to talk Apocalypse War. Did you?
Oh.
All I need to know is did you like
Hey,
it?
no, just throw it up there. Scale of 1 to 10. Make it
Did
simple.
you
Scale of
like
1
it?
to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a being comfortable being a geek panel last week with Tyrone Selby. That was
Mhm.
great. I want to just kind of throw a shout out to him. Thank him for having done that
Mhm.
with us. That was greatly appreciated. Oh, cough. I don't think he
Uh-oh.
liked it too
Yeah,
much.
I don't know which way this is going.
I know,
Uh-oh. And we have another being comfortable being a geek. Look, there's going to be a lot of news this week because Comic-Con Online is happening this week, San Diego Comic-Con. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that's happening, a lot of new news that's dropping. Most of that we probably won't talk about until we do weekly next week. But we definitely will be discussing some new things because we don't know what they're going to be just yet. Just have to know that that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
The August 1st, we have another Being Comfortable Being a Geek panel with a yet unannounced guest who will be joining us for that. This one is specifically for Otakon online. So Otakon is a con that we were attempting to go to and do this panel there live. Yeah, COVID said no.
Nope.
So
you don't.
I'm doing it this way.
So we are instead Um, doing it online, we were privileged to get accepted to do it online. They initially only gave us a half an hour. We were able to get them
Stepped
to
us
allow us to
up
get an
to an
hour.
hour
Yes.
on the main
Um,
stage.
yeah, so that was awesome. There is a possibility that you may see something around that coming up in within the week on Otacon's side. So we will be having another Being Comfortable Being a Geek panel. Please tune in if you're around for that. Before we go, got to do a couple shout outs. So I want to shout out Tyrone Carson and Ellis and Susan and Vicky and Tony, all for supporting us at the highest tier
Yes.
on Patreon. Again, we really do appreciate your support. We are looking to grow the Patreon side of things. There are still some new things that are happening there. We are currently crafting, recording, filming, editing some new shows for our new YouTube channel, which is a gaming and snacking based channel, which is really where Loading Snacks kind of comes from. It's kind of what it's based in. Was that in the first place? So if you are already a patron, then you will see access to a new snack bite go live on Friday. That'll go public to everybody else the following week. And you'll continue to see that happening. And as we get these new shows up and running and recorded and done, you will begin to see that hit as well. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it.
And also, real quick,
You know,
Damon,
what's
you
up?
know how to get out the Otakon, being comfortable to your friends. I would say go follow Otakon on Facebook, because I don't believe we'll be able to post it on our end first. Since
Yeah,
it's
not 100% sure yet.
Yeah, we haven't got that information yet. So make sure you just follow Otakon on Facebook, and once we get everything together, they'll highlight us on the front page or something like that, and put out the schedule and all that kind of stuff. So just follow them for right now.
Don't worry. When we find out,
Yeah.
we will
Yeah,
most certainly
yeah,
make
we'll
sure
do.
that it is on our page for everybody to see and know when it's going to happen.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. That is a definite thing. Yeah. So with that, we're gonna wrap this one up. We'll probably see a lot of y'all tomorrow afternoon when we get to talking about games.
Yeah.
In the meantime, man, y'all go check out that video, man. I'm telling you, Superman or Super Wuss. Just look that up. You'll find a video, or if you search our page, you'll see it. It's listed there. It's also on my personal page, so if you're following me there, it's listed
Same
there
here.
too. With that, we are out. Everybody have a good week. Toodles and
Cheers.
doodles. What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.